Welcome back to my channel. So I am making this video about the debate of whether Shohei Ohtani from the LA Dodgers is the greatest baseball player of all time. And to those critics out there that are saying, and to those people out there that are saying that he is the greatest baseball player ever, I think you are wrong. And the reason why I think you are wrong, first of all, Shohei Ohtani is still an active player, and looking at his stats, it you can't compare his current stats to baseball players of past and present. So his stats right now, he's nowhere near Aaron Judge. I understand that he is also a pitcher as well, and his current stats as a pitcher, he's nowhere close to pitchers like Tom Seaver, Mariano Rivera. I know Mariano Rivera is a closer, but he's still a pitcher. He's nowhere close to Nolan Ryan. Um, you can say that he had the greatest game of all time, but he's not the greatest player of all time. I think that's completely wrong. I think that, first of all, in my opinion, Judge is the greatest baseball player alive, right? Currently. I know a lot of people like to say, well, in terms of home runs and batting average, he's hitting like how Barry Bonds, Mark McGwire, Sammy Sosa, and those hit during their time. But you have to remember these guys were all on steroids, and I think that their numbers, there should be an asterisk near their numbers because they were cheating. They were taking steroids to basically hit for power, and so I don't think that their numbers should compare to Aaron Judge. Aaron Judge is currently the greatest baseball player alive. And second of all, I think that people are just saying that because they're comparing Shohei to Judge and saying that Shohei is better than Judge just because Shohei Ohtani won a World Series. And I think that's completely unfair because you want to bet if the tables were turned, if Aaron Judge won a World Series and Shohei didn't, they would say that Aaron Judge is the greatest baseball player alive. And that's not true. Um, it's a slap in the face to people like Babe Ruth, Lou Gehrig, Ted Williams, Mickey Mantle, Joe DeMar, those guys. Because first of all, he's still an active player. That's my cat. He agrees with me. He's still an active player, and you have to wait till his career is over to see where the numbers are. I don't care if he won a World Series. It's like saying Dan Marino is not the greatest quarterback because he never won a Super Bowl ring. First of all, I think it's unfair because they always talk about greatest quarterback. They always say, well, Tom Brady is the greatest quarterback. Just because Tom Brady won all those Super Bowls. And that's not unfair because remember, baseball, football, any sport, there's no I in team. It's a team sport. And you have to, these people are playing, these individuals are playing the way they are playing because it has to do with the people surrounding them. I mean, you can't expect one player to carry a team. You can't expect them, if they want to be called the greatest, to when in terms of serious situations, like in terms of let's say the game is on the line, and you would greatness is measured due to that great player coming through during those difficult times, but it's I think it's not fair because, like I said, Babe Ruth started off as a pitcher for 5 years in his career, and he ended up with 714 home runs total. Imagine if Babe Ruth started off as a batter, as a hitter. He probably would have had like 800 home runs. And also, you have to remember, Gehrig died at 37. He had 490 something home runs before he passed. Imagine if Gehrig played and he played 4 or 5 more years as a hitter. Who would have known? No one would have known how many home runs he would have hit. But and also you're comparing him to Hank Aaron, who hit the most home runs than any baseball player ever. So for all those that are on the Ohtani bandwagon, he may have had the greatest game of all time, but he is nowhere close to the greatest baseball player of all time alive either. Current Aaron Judge is, and I'm just so sick and tired of people saying that Judge is not. He only hits great during the regular season. When the playoff comes around, he chokes. That's not true. Judge actually he has played very good baseball during the playoffs, and he just had one of the most memorable playoffs ever. It's not his fault that the team didn't advance. Like I said, there's no I in team. He's dealt with what he has surrounding him. It's not his fault that Volpe played terrible. Trent Grisham played terrible. It's a team effort. So stop comparing the two. Aaron Judge will be a Hall of Famer. I'm 100% sure when Aaron Judge decides to retire, he's going to be a Hall of Famer. He's going to be in the category as one of the greats. But let's see what happens. I mean, I think he's 33 right now. He still has some years left. And this guy has accomplished more than what anybody has accomplished currently that's playing. So stop comparing the two. Yes, that's nice. Ohtani has a World Series ring, whatever. But if the tables were turned, if Judge had a World Series ring, they would be calling Aaron Judge the greatest baseball player of all time. And he's not, and I'm a big Judge fan. Aaron Judge is not the greatest baseball player of all time, nor is he the greatest Yankee of all time. But in terms of stats wise, he could be considered the greatest Yankee of all. Well, I wouldn't say that. Ruth is. But in terms of stat wise, I'm about living players. Living Yankee, he's the greatest living Yankee of all time. If you want to talk about stats, no one's career should be measured because of them winning the big one. Like I said, in the case of Dan Marino, the greatest quarterback of all time, just because he hasn't won a Super Bowl, that you can't take away from his greatness. It's a team effort. So I just wanted to make that point because there are these so-called baseball experts on TV. They live for the moment just because it's the moment. It's like what's trending, everyone's going to jump on what's trending. Then once that fades away, they're going to jump on to the next trending thing. So let's see his numbers when he decides to retire, then we can talk. But for now, he's not the greatest baseball player ever, which is insane to even say. And he's definitely not the greatest baseball player ever, what I meant to say. And he's not the greatest baseball player alive. It's Aaron Judge. That's all I wanted to say. If you like this video, don't forget to hit the thumbs up button. Don't forget oh yeah, I'm sorry. I forgot to even mention this. Gehrig and Ruth played during the dead ball era, and I did call into a radio station, and I said that. I mentioned that, and they said, well, the players that they played with at that time can't compare to the players now. That's not true. The players that Gehrig and Ruth played with, they were way better than the current players right now. Remember, they played during the dead ball era. They played in an era where there was the food was different. There wasn't all that junk in the food, making you, when you eat the current food that you eat right now, it makes you a lot heavier, and there are so much more modern day equipment to help you do things better in terms of sports. These guys played in an era where they were horse and buggy and stuff like that. They were, horse and buggy, and they didn't have all that. There was no type of technology in those days like it is right now to make you a better baseball player. They played because these guys were great players. So that's just a stupid argument. And then to even say that nonsense about they didn't play to the reason why they played so well because the players back in those days they weren't good enough. Have you ever heard of Ty Cobb, Ted Williams? I mean, that's completely insane. The players these days, they're all juiced up. The ball is juiced up. And I don't care what anybody says. Just because these guys are being tested for steroids it's not being detected. Technology has advanced so much that these guys can go through all sorts of loopholes to take performance enhancing. I'm not saying ohtani is not on performance enhancing drugs. I'm not talking about ohtani. I'm just talking about in general. There's so much technology out there that these people can take certain things human growth hormones or whatever it is to make themselves more of a power hitter or a good pitcher. So let's just stop this conversation about Ohtani this, Ohtani that, because he is trending. He's a new fad. And then now everybody loves Ohtani. He's Babe Ruth. Let's stop. Anyways, if you like this video, don't forget to hit the thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. I'll see you folks next time. Bye.